Hey guys, so here I'm going to go through working on chest wall flexibility. Getting the front of your chest to be able to open up as much as you need to allow your arms, your shoulders to be as free as you want them to be, reaching behind your back and overhead. Now this is something that a lot of folks will struggle with. In part, it's just due to the sedentary nature of first world, particularly in our modern first world, in American modern first world. We do a lot of parking and we don't do a lot of moving around in our days to break it up. So, you know, there's a certain saying, if you make that face so much it sticks, is pretty true. And any part of our body can get kind of tightened on up when we hold a position for a prolonged period of time, day in, day out. So a lot of us find ourselves kind of like here, no big reason to go overhead or behind our back unless you got to put on a jacket, get something at a top shelf, which is rare, or there's some sort of activity, there's some exercise, there's some sort of thing that you want to be able to do to allow your body to reach into that range, and then you're confronted with some sort of tightness that is formed over time. So we're going to use a common activity that people will take on to address tightness at the front of their chest. And I'm going to give you some pointers of how to make it work reliably well for you to address what you're probably looking to address, to make the improvements that you're looking to make, get those arms to be able to reach more comfortably behind you and with that overhead, and not cause any other problems in the process of getting what you want. So what we're going to use is the handy foam roller. We're going to lay it on the ground and do an activity that I'm sure half of you may have already done at some point. So you lay it on down, sit on the sucker, and then super comfy, right? So what oftentimes people will do is they just lay there and just let the arms flop out, and they try to find as big of a stretch through their chest wall as they can put up with. And then whatever happens, happens. Rib cage is flying, back is arching, gasping for air, and just trying to survive it for as long as possible. Maybe somebody told them you gotta be here for 5 minutes, and they're just trying to suffer through it, waiting for the timer to go off. That's not gonna get them anywhere good. What we've gotta do is pin down some portions of your torso in order to then put some tension through your chest wall and get it to open up in the places that we want it to. So a tight chest wall will oftentimes feel like tight pecs, but it's not just tight pecs. It's the actual rib cage and sternum. It's not able to expand to the front of your body to allow it to make a shape where it's bigger, more expanded in the front, and allow your arms to travel back. So it's very restricted. When you take a breath in, no air goes here. We gotta force air from the inside, your lungs, that's on the back side of these ribs where those pecs, yes, insert into. We gotta force some air to get it to open up and to allow you to take that shape with this activity, and then with increasingly vigorous things, whatever level you want to work at. So we got to pin down a part in order to open up another, and what we're going to pin down is your diaphragm and the lower half of you. And the way to do that before you go into that stretch is just reach your hands straight to the sky through your collarbones, blow out all your air, tuck your tail as big as you need, because what we're going to try to do is get your bra line to belt line pinned flat against that foam roller. We want all the vertebrae touching. I don't care if your tailbone has to come completely off. I don't care how much you have to reach and how far you have to exhale. That's what you need to make this activity work for you. Some of you are going to feel your abs working really hard. That's a weak link. We'll work on it. Some of you are going to feel your butt and your hammies work really hard to tuck that tail up. That's a weak link. This will work on it. So you just hold this, make sure you can breathe in and out, and then out. And some folks have a chest that's indented and there's a little bit of like a line that's kind of flexed that way. Well, they would do well to do a little bit of reaching overhead, but we're focused on just opening up this way. So once we get the back flat, let those arms flop. Now, don't go immediately into arms way out. Yes, it's in line with the pecs, but they can barely touch the ground, and you start feeling the front of your shoulders screaming. Let it be down here a little bit more like a Christmas tree. And what we're going to search for is the angle in which you feel a tolerable stretch. You can be there for a while keeping bra line to belt line pinned flat, and then big breath in, not allowing this to splay and lift up, keeping that tail tucked up. So this is forcing the air to expand only here by blocking it from opening up at your abdomen, keeping it pinned. Big into your nose, that matters. Don't breathe in through your mouth and then out. Blow it all out, keeping your back bra line to belt line pinned the whole time. You may feel your chest loosen up a little bit, and you may be able to go up a little bit higher. But you want to be able to get that breath and be able to hold this tack down so you can shove the air into the place that you want it to. Some of you may be able to push your fingers, your hands into the ground, pinch your shoulders back, working some low traps while your abs and your handies are working hard to hold this position, but you can still breathe in and open up your chest. And you just do that for a few minutes. Don't bother counting. You don't need to spend 5 minutes there, but you just do it until it seems to improve. And what that is going to do is, for a period of time after, open up the flexibility of the front of your chest, allowing your shoulder blades, shoulder sockets, and your arms with them to reach further back. Then you'll be able to do some sort of activity of actively reaching back, and I've already gone through some ones that I recommend you taking on, posting the arm back, reaching the arm back, getting stuff to kick in. But for those of you that maybe struggle to take on those activities, this may be something that's really worthwhile to do initially prior to it. And for those of you that are trying to just take on a bunch of maybe band exercises and open everything up, those may be great and useful exercises, but if you're not able to get your chest wall to expand in a really basic position such as this, then you're just working really hard and getting nowhere in an upright, more demanding posture. So those are great activities. Even the ones that I recommended, they're great activities, but they're advanced and beyond you if you can't do what I just did there and keep your back flat, reach your arms back and get air to open up at that front of the chest. That's what's preventing that motion. That's what needs to be improved. So this is one way to go about it. There are other ways. Feel free to reach out if you got any questions as you try to take that on, and depending on how it works for you. Regardless, I hope your shoulders are moving as much as you want them to, and I hope you're well.